Day after day, we're constantly reminded of the importance of being culturally sensitive to others. Now, in the world of work, being culturally sensitive and inclusive is not only crucial for talent acquisition, but also in team management. And so, as a first time manager, you are going to be surrounded with a team of people who are from different backgrounds, ethnicities, race, and all other types of values that form their identities. And so, this means that you have to treat people with respect and dignity, irrespective of their diverse identities. And so, as a first time manager, how are you demonstrating inclusivity within your team environment? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some simple but very effective ways you can demonstrate inclusivity within your team environment. And so, keep watching. Welcome to another episode on the Growth Leadership Cafe. My name is Adesuwa and I am a leadership coach and a management trainer for first-time managers. And so if this is your first time coming across my YouTube channel, you're very welcome to the community. On this channel, I talk about all things personal and organizational leadership for folks who are new to management or some form of supervisory role. And so if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is a great time to do that. Click on that notification bell so you get a buzz every time I post a video, which is every week Tuesday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Moving to the topic for today, I'm speaking about how to manage a culturally diverse team. Now, you are surrounded with people from different backgrounds, yourself included. We are shaped by our experiences, our orientation, our cultures, our values, our ethnicities, all of those factors that make us who we are as an individual. And so everyone has a place in society and should be treated with respect and dignity. And that spills over into your workplace environment and your team environment. Why is this important? When we allow for different perspectives, it makes it richer. It makes the team richer, whether you are male or female, whether you are young or mature, whether you are Muslim or Christian, whatever those identities are, they make for a very robust team environment. We all come with our different experiences and background, and that impacts or influences our work in many regards. All right, so one person's view or one person's identity doesn't trump the other one. No identity is more superior than the other. Everyone should be given the space to express themselves without fear of judgment or retribution. And as a leader, it is your responsibility to create that sort of environment where people feel safe enough to express themselves, share their opinions in a way that doesn't take away from them as an individual or make them feel excluded. Now, where is the starting point? The first place is to educate yourself. It is not the responsibility of the person who's different from you to teach you about their culture or whatever it is. You can educate yourself. Obviously, there is room for cross-learning and cross-sharing between you and your team. However, they are not your test subjects. They are not your lab rats for you to understand a certain culture or belief system. They are not your teachers, all right? So there are so many trainings out there. There's cultural competence trainings. There's a variety of EDI trainings. By EDI, I mean equity, diversity, and inclusion trainings that you could take. So that's the first step, is to get those professional trainings in really understanding the importance of identifying, recognizing, and validating all sorts of identities within your team environment. The second strategy is do not propagate stereotypes. Now, we all carry our biases everywhere we go. We all have heard about some stereotype, whether positive or negative, about another person's culture or religion or sexual orientation, whatever that is. And it is not right to continue to propagate that, especially within your team environment. And so what do I mean by that? You can't use the same brush to paint everybody. Even though one person is identifying as indigenous, doesn't mean that whatever thing you know about indigenous peoples cuts across all types of indigenous peoples. They all have their diverse identities and values that shape their culture and their belief system. And so you can't use that one standard as a yardstick to judge or treat people. All right, so get to know the individual within your workspace. get to know their values, belief systems, and it's not a way for you to just call them to your office and have this list of questions that you're going through. So tell me about this. So tell me, no. It happens more organically. At lunchtime, have small talk with the people that you work with. When you go out to hang out as a team, whatever that is, find those common spaces to learn about them. Be inquisitive, be curious about the people that you work with, because that's how you start to learn about who they are, the things that they consider important, the things that they consider valuable, and the things that they believe in. And so that's how you want to make space for them in accommodating their own needs as well. Moving on to my next point is to accommodate people's cultural, religious, or whatever sorts of identities that exist for them within your workspace environment. This is not to say that you don't have standards, but it's being respectful of people's values and what they hold important to them. Once you take them seriously, of course they are going to want to take their work seriously and take you seriously as well. If you consider their feelings, if you consider their belief systems as unimportant compared to you or anybody else within that organization, that sets a very bad precedence for everyone in that space, and it will just break down the team cohesion within that place. All right, and you don't want to be the one who's responsible for creating some kind of division or segregation within your team environment. And so this could look like recognizing when someone is on Ramadan fasting period, and if they need a moment to rest or if they're feeling much tired, accommodate that. If they have celebrations that are coming up and it's a big deal within their cultural environment, you want to be flexible to accommodate that. And when you do recognize and accept people with different types of cultures within your team environment, you see people start to help each other out. Maybe during Ramadan, or there is the fasting season, and when it comes to the celebration and they have to take that day off, someone who doesn't celebrate that holiday is more willing to cover for someone who is recognizing a religious day within their own culture. Another strategy is to being very mindful of your language. So what you consider a light joke might be very offensive to the next person. And so you want to create that environment where you are setting the precedence for how you speak to people. It also rubs off on those around you, in that you're not only just stating whatever is in your policy as a standard, but you're demonstrating that in how you treat them and the words that you choose to use or not use. And this means also when you see someone using some form of derogatory term or description of another person's culture or value system, you want to kind of nip that in the bud. And you want to let them know that that is not language or words that will be tolerated within the team environment. And obviously you want to correct them with love. Some people really do not mean to be malicious or have some form of evil intent. And so correct them, let them know what the alternative is in order not to do that in the future. And the last point on the subject is pay attention to the little things. So by little things could be as simple as learning people's names. Even though they're not English names that are familiar to you, you want to learn to pronounce their names as it is. It just tells that you're being respectful, you're not being undermining in maybe using their middle name, which might be an English name, and you call them that because that's easier to pronounce. Make effort in learning people's name, and if you need to ask them, how would you like me to call you? Could you pronounce your name for me so I know how to say it in the future? They respect that than you trying to avoid it or call them something else or not use your name at all because you don't want to seem like you're being disrespectful. Make an effort to learn people's names. It could be that alone can make a huge difference in your relationship with that person. Another thing could be accommodating dietary needs. So if you're hosting an event or there's some kind of office function or team event, you want to be mindful of people's culturally significant dietary needs. And so for example, for a person who only eats halal foods, you want to be mindful of that and make accommodations for that in the food. And so those things really just make the difference. If they see that you're paying attention to those little things, they feel valued, they feel respected and validated, that their identities are important in that space. Or it could be dress code. If you see someone who wears a turban or who wears a hijab, you don't want to question like, oh, why are you wearing this, or this is not appropriate. Obviously, there are certain environments that require certain safety outfits, but how can you make accommodations for that? Things are not set in stone, right? Whether that was a standard before, why is that a standard today? And so make that change, challenge that paradigm. Why is this the way it is? Question things that are considered the norm. If it doesn't fit and it doesn't include certain people, why not? Why not? If it's a safety issue, then have that dialogue on how you can navigate it. But to not recognize people or to exclude people by default of your rules and regulations or policies within your business environment, that's not okay. That sends a message that, yeah, you can put it on your job postings and say we're an equal opportunity employer, but then you don't exhibit that in how you treat people every day in your workspace, in your policies, in your daily dealings with them. Okay, policies need to translate into action. We are the people who have to interpret the policies and articulate it and demonstrate it in our actions, in our values, in the way we think, and the way we project ourselves to those around us. Hopefully you have been able to get a thing or two on how you can be more inclusive as a team leader within your business environment. And if you do have questions or need more help with this, by all means, feel free to comment down below or reach out to me on any of my social media platforms, send me an email, or you can also book a leadership strategy call with me and let's work together. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. If you're not yet subscribed, again, do so. Let me know that you appreciate the content coming out of this channel, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now.